As subtle tensions continued to ripple through the palace, Prince William made a remarkable and highly unexpected decision by officially granting the title of Prince to James Alexander Philip Theo Mountbatten Windsor, the son of Prince Edward. A figure who had long remained far from royal controversy suddenly found himself at the center of intense speculation and shifting palace dynamics. This was far from a rushed or emotional choice. Insiders suggest William had quietly spent months observing the evolving atmosphere within the royal household, where Queen Camilla's growing influence had become increasingly difficult to ignore. Her expanding role in internal affairs and close involvement in key decisions had reportedly created unease among many long-serving palace aides. What once sounded like whispers behind closed doors was now beginning to resemble a noticeable transformation within the institution itself. For many royal observers, William's decision to elevate James is being interpreted as one of the clearest signs yet of his long-term vision for the monarchy. More than a symbolic gesture, it appeared to send a calm but unmistakable message about the future direction of the royal family and the people he trusts to help preserve its legacy. Questions quickly began to emerge. Was James simply being recognized for his character and quiet dedication? Or was William carefully positioning a dependable new figure within the next chapter of the monarchy? At the same time, many wondered how Camilla might respond to such a significant development behind palace walls. The cool atmosphere inside Buckingham Palace during the early days of May reflected the growing pressure surrounding William's future responsibilities. With King Charles gradually reducing public duties due to ongoing health concerns, the weight of preparation increasingly rested on William's shoulders. Yet inside the historic residence, silence no longer brought comfort. Beneath the polished routines and ceremonial appearances, deeper tensions seemed to linger. Since the coronation in 2023, William had watched Camilla's role evolve far beyond that of a supportive royal partner. Over time, her influence appeared to stretch further into the structure of palace operations itself. During a private strategy meeting inside one of the palace's richly decorated chambers, William sat quietly reviewing documents related to royal charitable initiatives. What immediately caught his attention was not the proposal itself, but the approval signature placed at the top. Instead of King Charles, the authorization carried Camilla's personal seal. To William, it represented more than administrative formality. It symbolized how authority inside the palace was gradually shifting in new directions. According to those familiar with internal discussions, these changes had accelerated following last year's Trooping the Color celebrations. Camilla reportedly became more involved in staffing decisions and internal management, with several trusted longtime aides being replaced by figures more closely connected to her own personal circle. Among palace staff, an atmosphere of caution slowly developed. Employees who had faithfully served Queen Elizabeth II for decades now seemed increasingly careful about how they handled sensitive matters and internal communication. William noticed the change immediately. During meetings, conversations often paused unexpectedly whenever subjects connected to the Queen's office arose. Staff members avoided eye contact and spoke with unusual restraint. The frustration was rarely expressed openly, yet it lingered quietly in the room through hesitant responses and uneasy silences. To William, it became increasingly clear that Camilla's role within the institution was evolving into something far more influential than before. As these developments continued, William found himself reflecting deeply on the future of the monarchy and the legacy he hoped to protect for his children. He feared that if the balance inside the institution continued shifting unchecked, the royal family could gradually lose the traditions and values that had sustained it for generations. Rather than creating open conflict, however, William understood he needed a more thoughtful and measured response. After one particularly tense meeting, he returned alone to his private office, where confidential reports regarding palace operations had already been prepared at his request. The room was quiet except for the faint rustle of old documents and the lingering scent of polished wood and sandalwood. On his desk rested a black and white photograph of Prince Philip in naval uniform, his expression calm yet unwavering. William paused in front of the image, remembering the lessons his grandfather had once shared about loyalty, discipline, and stability within the monarchy. Prince Philip had always believed that the strength of the crown depended not only on the monarch but also on the dependable individuals surrounding them. William realized the institution required trusted figures who valued duty above personal ambition. While Camilla appeared to be strengthening her own influence behind the scenes, William knew direct confrontation would only create public division and potentially damage the image of the royal family during a delicate period. Instead, he began considering a quieter approach. In his mind, the monarchy needed fresh but steady figures capable of restoring balance and preserving the principles that had long defined the House of Windsor. That realization led him toward one particular name. He opened a carefully organized file bearing the full name James Alexander Philip Theo Mountbatten Windsor. As William reviewed the pages, he saw something increasingly rare within modern royal life. James had grown up far removed from constant media attention and public spectacle. Unlike many young royals raised under endless headlines, he appeared grounded, disciplined, and largely untouched by controversy. In archived photographs, he could often be seen dressed simply at local events, blending naturally among volunteers and community members rather than seeking attention. William reflected on the choices made years earlier by Prince Edward and Sophie, who had deliberately allowed their children to grow up with a sense of normality rather than surrounding them entirely with royal privilege. By declining formal royal styling for their children early on, they created an upbringing focused on responsibility, humility, and independence. Ironically, the very distance that kept James away from public fascination may have become the quality William valued most. One memory in particular stayed with him. During an event at Windsor Castle several years earlier, while cameras focused heavily on senior royals greeting guests and dignitaries, William noticed James standing quietly near the edge of the terrace observing staff members preparing banquet arrangements. Rather than seeking attention, he appeared genuinely interested in the people working behind the scenes to keep the event running smoothly. It was a small moment, but one William never forgot. There had never been any sense of privilege surrounding James. He never issued commands or carried himself with superiority. Instead, he quietly observed the people around him, learning through patience and genuine curiosity. His respect for honest work came naturally, shaped by years of living close to ordinary routines rather than hidden behind layers of royal formality. He traveled to school using public transportation, interacted comfortably with people from every background, and grew accustomed to everyday life without excessive protection or ceremony. Still, William understood that bringing James into a more visible royal role would not happen without concern from those around him. During confidential meetings with senior advisors, he was met with cautious expressions and measured objections. Some believed elevating someone who had remained outside the central spotlight for so long could unsettle the delicate balance inside the monarchy. Others questioned whether James possessed enough experience to navigate intense media attention and the subtle political pressures that surrounded royal life in London. A few quietly warned that such a move might be interpreted as a direct challenge to the growing influence surrounding Camilla's inner circle. Yet William remained completely certain of his decision. He believed there was something important within James that many had either overlooked or failed to understand. More than anything else, it was the lasting influence Prince Philip had quietly passed down to him over the years. Among the documents William reviewed were personal recollections from aides who had once worked closely with the Duke of Edinburgh. They described peaceful afternoons at Balmoral where James accompanied his grandfather on fishing trips or crossed rough countryside terrain in old off-road vehicles. Philip, known for his strict discipline and demanding standards, reportedly showed James an unusual level of patience during those moments. He taught him how to remain calm under pressure, how to observe before acting, and how to make decisions with a steady mind rather than emotion. William saw in James a rare level of composure for someone so young. Beneath his quiet and respectful nature was a deeper strength that revealed itself through discipline and restraint. To William, that calm resilience mattered far more than charm or public attention. In a palace increasingly shaped by competing influence and hidden agendas, James represented something steady and dependable. This was not simply a personal choice based on family affection. William believed James embodied qualities the monarchy desperately needed: loyalty, humility, patience, and an unwavering sense of duty. As he slowly closed the confidential file resting on his desk, he felt a quiet certainty settle over him. For the first time in months, the path ahead appeared clearer. In William's mind, James would not arrive dramatically or seek public admiration. His influence would come quietly, through character rather than spectacle. He would stand as a reminder that the traditions of the Windsor family still had protectors willing to preserve them carefully and honorably. William reached for his fountain pen and drafted a brief note to Prince Edward's office. There was no need for long explanations. He simply needed the family prepared for what was about to unfold. As he finished writing, His attention drifted once again toward the framed photograph of Prince Philip nearby. "This is not impulsive," William murmured softly to himself. "It is simply the right moment." A faint smile crossed his face, though his eyes remained fixed with determination. Deep down, he understood that events inside the monarchy had already begun shifting. James, who had spent most of his life away from royal headlines, was now becoming one of the most important figures in William's effort to steady an institution facing increasing internal strain. For James, memories of Sandringham and Balmoral returned like scenes from another lifetime, colored by mist-covered fields, quiet lakes, and endless stretches of countryside silence. In the personal reflections William reviewed, there were no glamorous recollections of royal ceremonies or lavish celebrations. Instead, the memories centered on simple moments shared with Prince Philip while driving through rugged estate roads or standing quietly beside calm waters holding fishing rods for hours at a time. Those experiences became some of the most valuable lessons of James's life. Philip rarely lectured directly. Instead, he taught through silence, patience, and example. James learned that real authority was never about titles or public recognition. True strength came from remaining calm during uncertainty and maintaining control even in difficult situations. Watching his grandfather over the years left a lasting impression on him. Philip had spent decades standing beside the Queen rather than in front of her, yet his influence within the monarchy had always been undeniable. The discipline and restraint James absorbed during those quiet years slowly became part of his own personality. William recognized that immediately. At a time when tensions inside the palace appeared to grow more complicated with each passing month, James's calm nature seemed increasingly valuable. Meanwhile, William observed noticeable changes unfolding within Buckingham Palace. Camilla's involvement appeared to expand steadily beyond ceremonial responsibilities. During diplomatic receptions and internal gatherings, William noticed adjustments in guest selections and private meetings that increasingly favored individuals connected to influential financial and social circles associated with her personal network. To him, the changes felt deliberate and carefully planned. His concern deepened further when confidential reports regarding royal estate management reached his office. Certain lands that had once been preserved under Prince Philip's environmental priorities were reportedly being reconsidered for projects tied to organizations connected to members of Camilla's extended circle. For William, the issue extended beyond administrative decisions. He believed it risked undermining principles and traditions his grandfather had worked for decades to protect. Walking through the dim palace corridors late one evening, William passed Philip's former study and paused briefly. Thoughts of James returned immediately to his mind. The contrast between James's quiet humility and the increasingly aggressive expansion of influence surrounding him only strengthened William's resolve. Protecting Philip's legacy no longer felt like a personal responsibility alone. To William, it had become essential to preserving the monarchy's stability and identity. The more he watched James handle everyday pressures, the more similarities he noticed between him and Prince Philip. Both possessed an unusually calm presence and an ability to observe situations carefully without revealing emotion. James rarely reacted impulsively, yet his awareness of people and circumstances appeared remarkably sharp. Standing beneath the carved crest of the Duke of Edinburgh, William realized he could no longer remain passive while the values of previous generations risked being overshadowed by personal ambition and shifting alliances. In his view, Camilla may have mastered influence and strategy, but James represented continuity, discipline, and quiet legitimacy rooted in the monarchy's deeper traditions. Gradually, William's frustration transformed into focus. His anger never erupted publicly. Instead, it settled into careful planning and quiet determination. On the desk inside his private study rested one of Prince Philip's old compasses, its needle still firmly pointing north despite the passage of time. William adjusted it gently, almost symbolically, as though reminding himself of the direction he intended to follow. That morning, heavy gray clouds covered the London sky, but the greatest tension remained hidden behind the thick oak doors of Buckingham Palace. William stood silently before the large palace window holding an official document that had just received royal authorization. The dark lettering across the page carried enough significance to send shockwaves through the entire institution. James Alexander Philip Theo Mountbatten Windsor had formally accepted the title of Prince of the United Kingdom. The announcement moved quickly through official channels, and within moments an invisible wave of reaction spread throughout the palace. William did not need to witness it firsthand to imagine the stunned expressions of senior officials or the sudden frenzy gathering outside the gates among reporters and photographers. He simply stood in silence, listening to the steady ticking of the nearby clock while imagining headlines already appearing across television screens around the world. This was far more than a ceremonial adjustment. It represented a significant shift within the balance of influence surrounding the monarchy. Inside the Queen's office wing, the atmosphere reportedly changed almost instantly. Conversations stopped. Staff members exchanged uncertain glances, searching one another's faces for answers. For many within Camilla's circle, William's timing felt both unexpected and deeply strategic. Without speaking a single public criticism, he had made a powerful statement through tradition, legitimacy, and royal authority itself. One detail in particular attracted immediate attention. William had intentionally emphasized the name Philip within the official wording of the announcement. To many observers, it appeared to serve as more than a respectful tribute. It symbolized continuity with the values associated with the Duke of Edinburgh: discipline, service, loyalty, and quiet strength. For William, the message was unmistakable. The legacy of Prince Philip, which many feared was slowly fading into history, had now found a new figure prepared to carry it forward into the monarchy's next chapter. The principles Prince Philip had spent his entire life protecting now seemed more important than ever to William. In his eyes, those values were slowly being challenged by growing personal ambitions within the royal institution. As reactions to James's elevation continued pouring in through reports and media updates, William noticed a powerful shift beginning to form. Large numbers of people welcomed the announcement warmly, seeing it as a return to the traditional sense of duty, discipline, and quiet dignity once strongly associated with the monarchy. Behind palace walls, however, the atmosphere became far more complicated. Discussions quietly intensified among influential figures close to Camilla's circle. Many viewed William's decision not as a ceremonial gesture, but as a strategic restructuring of influence within the royal family. James, who had spent most of his life away from public drama and political maneuvering, had suddenly become a major obstacle for those accustomed to operating quietly behind the scenes. Inside her private office, Camilla reportedly remained outwardly composed, but those around her noticed a new sense of caution in her demeanor. She understood immediately that William's patience had been far more deliberate than she had realized. By choosing James, someone widely viewed as disciplined, grounded, and untouched by controversy, William had effectively strengthened the monarchy with a figure difficult to undermine or influence. James represented continuity and legitimacy in a form that could not easily be challenged. William sensed the balance inside the palace beginning to shift. From that moment forward, the entire dynamic had entered a different phase. Whether openly acknowledged or not, Camilla would now need to move far more carefully. James did not need to argue, criticize, or compete for attention. His mere presence beside William already served as a powerful reminder of the monarchy's enduring traditions and authority. Standing alone in his study, William allowed himself a quiet moment of relief. It was not satisfaction born from victory, but the calm that comes from believing he had fulfilled an important responsibility. By placing trust in James, he believed he had strengthened the monarchy's future and introduced a stabilizing figure capable of helping guide it through uncertain years ahead. In the days following the announcement, Buckingham Palace felt transformed. The impact spread quietly but steadily through every level of the institution. James's new role was not simply a title added to official records. It altered the emotional and psychological atmosphere surrounding the royal household itself. In offices where confidence and influence once seemed firmly controlled by Camilla's supporters, a new uncertainty began to emerge. Long-serving staff members and advisors gradually adjusted their attitudes. Many saw in James not merely another young royal but a symbol of steadiness personally supported by the Prince of Wales. Employees who had quietly grown uncomfortable with increasing internal pressure now felt a renewed sense of balance within the institution. James himself made no attempt to dominate attention. He did not rely on grand speeches or dramatic gestures. Instead, his calm demeanor, careful listening, and respectful attitude naturally drew support toward him. The discipline and patience he had inherited from Prince Philip created a quiet but undeniable presence that many people inside the palace found reassuring. For Camilla, the change became increasingly difficult to ignore. Decisions and proposals that once passed easily through meetings now faced closer review and greater scrutiny. Matters involving staffing, budgets, and private initiatives were examined more carefully under the renewed focus on accountability and royal tradition that William had subtly reinforced through James's arrival. Camilla also began noticing shifts among those who had once eagerly aligned themselves with her influence. Some advisors and officials quietly started building relationships with James's office instead, believing the future direction of the monarchy would increasingly center around the partnership developing between William and the young prince. The atmosphere inside palace corridors slowly changed. Respect and attention that once flowed automatically toward Camilla's authority were gradually redirecting themselves toward the new balance emerging within the institution. As these developments unfolded, Camilla reportedly came to recognize a difficult truth. Watching James interact calmly and respectfully with staff while maintaining his dignity and discipline, she realized she was facing something impossible to manufacture through influence alone. James carried a sense of continuity deeply connected to the monarchy's older traditions and values, something rooted far beyond political strategy or personal ambition. From his office, William quietly observed the changes through reports and subtle shifts in behavior among palace staff. He saw Camilla slowly retreating from the center of internal influence, not because she had been publicly challenged, but because James's presence had naturally established limits that others now recognized. Decisions once driven by personal priorities were increasingly being redirected toward broader royal responsibilities and long-term institutional stability. For Camilla, adapting to this new reality was not easy. She understood the structure of influence inside the monarchy had fundamentally changed. James had not entered palace life as an aggressive rival or outspoken reformer. Instead, he represented a calm but immovable force, one rooted in discipline, legitimacy, and continuity. Standing alone in one of the palace's long stone corridors, Camilla reportedly felt the full weight of that realization. In the end, enduring values and public trust still held enormous power within the monarchy, often far stronger than short-term influence or personal ambition. James's early weeks as prince did not revolve around lavish celebrations or public extravagance. Instead, he focused quietly on work, private meetings, and carefully planned visits connected to royal duties. His public appearances quickly drew attention for their simplicity and composure. Observers described him as calm, attentive, and thoughtful, someone more interested in listening carefully than performing for cameras. He avoided dramatic displays and instead approached every engagement with patience and humility. His straightforward style, disciplined schedule, and measured interactions quickly earned admiration from both ordinary citizens and experienced palace staff alike. The pressure surrounding his new role was immense. James understood clearly that he represented more than a personal title. To many people, he had become a symbol of renewal and stability during a period of uncertainty inside the monarchy. Every appearance, every conversation, and every public gesture was closely examined by supporters, critics, and remaining palace factions alike. Yet rather than appearing overwhelmed, James relied on the lessons Prince Philip had taught him years earlier. He handled difficult moments calmly and treated people with quiet respect regardless of status. Even individuals searching for weaknesses found it difficult to criticize his sincerity or conduct. One evening at Kensington Palace, as golden sunlight settled across the old brick walls, William and James met privately without advisors or staff nearby. The atmosphere between them was calm and reflective. Looking at his younger relative, William recognized how much James had matured in such a short period of time. For William, that moment brought genuine relief. He realized his support for James had never been solely about palace strategy or countering internal tensions. It was about preparing the monarchy for the future and ensuring that the values he believed in would continue guiding the institution for generations to come. In James, William believed he had found something increasingly rare. Someone who viewed royal responsibility not as a privilege but as a serious duty requiring sacrifice, discipline, and humility. Meanwhile, Camilla gradually withdrew further into ceremonial responsibilities. Her earlier expansion of influence had been quietly restrained, not through confrontation, but through the steady presence of a younger generation shaped by different priorities. Watching James from a distance, she appeared to understand that traditional political maneuvering held less power against someone driven by sincerity and responsibility rather than ambition. Late one afternoon, after finishing a long series of meetings, James stepped onto the palace balcony overlooking the city. A cool breeze drifted in from the River Thames, carrying with it the sounds of London below. Crowds remained gathered outside, not demanding spectacle or excitement, but simply hoping to see reassurance and stability reflected in the monarchy once again. James rested his hands against the weathered stone railing and looked quietly toward the distant skyline. On his finger, he felt the weight of the family signet ring, a reminder of the responsibility now placed upon him. In that moment, the lessons Prince Philip had once shared about duty, sacrifice, and self-control felt clearer than ever. To the world, the title of prince carried prestige and honor. But to James, it represented something far more serious. A lifelong commitment to protect and serve the institution entrusted to him. A title alone could never define a person. Character, responsibility, and discipline were what truly mattered. As the next chapter of royal life quietly unfolded around him, James carried that belief forward with calm determination and unwavering loyalty to the monarchy he had pledged to protect. What do you think? Will James's discipline and quiet strength help him navigate the growing challenges of palace life in the years ahead? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the next video on your screen for more royal stories and updates.